Say, alright, so first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakodash. We say, Double our person, Elohim, agreements, and Aruba, or teachers, our person is truth. And we see our teachers, so the outcomes, they push within our truth and sincerity, day in and day out, and constantly in season and season. We say, Shalom. Once again, going into our video here, and this basically touching upon some news. Once again, once you're watching the news, it seems so much of things happening. So much. There's so much of things. Wars, rumors of wars. The earthquakes. Just yesterday, I believe it was I believe some place in America they had like a 6 point something earthquake. Spain had a big flood. Today, earlier today, the news came on to talk about the North Korean troops have reached. They are in the forefront with Russian soldiers to fight against Ukraine. All these things that we are seeing right now. Now, this was something that was put up earlier today, right? As you can see, 11:37, right? It says EU Commission is calling on its citizens to stock up on supplies as most bloc countries are not in a position to ensure the survival of their citizens for at least 3 days. So why would they put out that? You have to ask yourself, why would they put out this sort of information in this particular time, right? Because again, they know things are right around the corner, right? So they're telling the citizens to put themselves in a position where they will be able to survive more than 3 days, and they say not in a position to ensure. As I say, EU Commission is calling on its citizens to stock up on supplies as most bloc countries are not in a position to ensure the survival of the citizens for at least 3 days. So they're literally telling you, the Commission telling you that, hey, most bloc countries, they're not in a position, right? They can't even survive 3 days. And this was going into like 2 videos that I did. One video, did one yesterday, I did one the day before, going into the farming, right? How, there were some farmers that came out speaking about that if it have any disaster, whatever disaster it may be, to happen, the world only has 63 days, right? 63 days of food supply, and every single day or every single month that's going down, the days are going down, right? So when the video was uploaded, it could be 63. By now it could be about 60. By now it could be about 59, 54. Knowing how the kind of things that are happening right now. So let me just bring up this little piece here. It says every household should have supplies for 72 hours. Most EU countries are not in a position to ensure the survival of the citizens for at least 3 days in the event of a crisis. The new EU Commission is now calling for more personal responsibility on the part of citizens. Every household should stock up on supplies. So they're telling them, hey, yo, stock up, right? Hey, if something's about to happen, we don't even have supplies for 3 days, and you know what's going to happen within those 3 days and what's going to happen after those 3 days. And with the EU, with the situation with the wars that are going on, they themselves are in it, right? So let me bring a scripture here. This is the book of 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 1. It said, "This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come," and we in those days. These perilous times, because when you look at the word perilous, right? Every time I bring the scripture, I like to go to the meaning so you can understand the harsh reality it's speaking about, right? So this is perilous. It's a hard to do, to take, to approach. It's a hard to bear, troublesome, dangerous, harsh, fierce, savage. It's a through the idea of reducing the strength. Reducing the strength. It's a difficult, that is dangerous, furious, fierce, and perilous, right? So the scripture say, "This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come." And we in those days, just imagine a commission telling you that, hey, if something's about to happen, don't be in a position where the commission telling you all that, not in a position to ensure the survival of the citizens for at least 3 days in it. 3 days, and we know how quick 3 days just fly, right? You can literally, it's time flying. So just imagine, and you know the thing about it, these citizens, and the reason why they're telling those citizens this is because why? These citizens, they're dependent on this government, right? They trust. Let me bring the scripture here. Let me bring the script here. Let me go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 31, verse 1. It says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, and stay on horses, and trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord. Especially these Israelites. They don't look unto the Holy One of Israel. Who they look on? They go down for Egypt for help. Right? They trust in Egypt. Right? So you say, yet he also is wise and will bring evil and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of the evildoers and against the help of them that work iniquity. Now the Egyptians are men and not God, and their horses flesh and not spirit. When the Lord shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is holpen shall fall down, and they all shall fail together. Okay, see this is here, right? These people, they heavily trust in Egypt, right? You see it with these Americans, the pride that they have in trust in the country, the pride they have in trust in Esau, right? To the fact where, just imagine the same people you're trusting telling you all, here we're going on, right? Here we're going on. We're not in a position to ensure that you're going to survive for at least 3 days. You know, after that 3rd day, hey, you know what, you might be in the ground. You understand? And majority of these people, they're not prepared for what is coming, and that was mentioned in the previous videos about they not being prepared for what it is that is going to happen, right? And that just is spread because now, literally today, right? I said that in the prior videos, and just today, look, here we're going on. Hey, just make sure they have stuff to survive for 3 days, at least 3 days, right? Make sure all they have stuff that all they can survive, right? Because they're telling you all not in a position to ensure the survival of the citizens for at least 3 days, right? So every household should have supplies for 72 hours, right? So all they should have that. So you all that run on for Egypt for help, all they going to fail with Egypt, right? And we know who that is not literally talking about, Egypt, right? We know this is speaking about, but that goes for all these places. Because yes, you know, when you talk to an American or you talk to somebody there, they believe that the government going to help them, just like with this voting position that they're going into. What some of the comments that these people are leaving, like vote for Kamala because she will take us out of whatever it is. That is how that is to show you how to trust in these people. That's what the scripture said. Now the Egyptians are men and are not God, and their horse is flesh and not spirit. When the Lord shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is holpen shall fall down, and they all shall fail together. And they all shall fail together. Right? A particular scripture I wanted to bring. I'm going to bring this Isaiah chapter 30. It say verse 2. I'm going to go to verse 2. It say that walk. Let me read from verse 1. It say, woe to the rebellious children, said the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down in Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. And we know these people don't trust in the Lord. You know, they trust in this place, right? They trust in this place, so that way when this place fall, hey, they're gonna be broken-hearted, right? They said, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. You understand that defense all they had in Egypt, it gone. You understand that covering all they take there? Hey, that shade ain't gonna be there no more, right? right? Um, um, so yeah, something else I wanted to bring here. You know what? Let me jump to let me jump to second Esdras. Let me go to second Esdras. Is second Esdras which part? Which I should start from? Let me start from. Let me go to verse. You know what? Let me read from verse. Say second Esdras chapter 16. Now let's continue because the previous video that I did going into farming, I did stop at verse 22. So I'll start back from verse 22 and go down. Right? They say, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine. Because now they're telling you that make sure every house will have supplies for 72 hours. A majority of these people outside there, they don't have that. They don't even know how to survive beyond a day. That is why they just be panicking so much. You know, when things happening and so forth, they be panicking out of order. Right? It's a for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So you escape the famine, right? But you escape the hunger, right? But as you bend the corner, something waiting for you to destroy you. Right? And those days are going to be very, 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 very bad. You can imagine some disaster happen and people can't get food. They show it in the movies how grimy people has behave. You know, no electricity because they say for 72 hours, right? Picture a massive, EMP or a massive electrical failure that and these is things that is being mentioned right now. If you keep up with the news, I see that's an important thing the scripture say to watch, and we continue to watch because there's so much things being mentioned. They're talking about the internet disruption, they're talking about the electricity disruption that could go out for months, right? That could go out for months, right? You know what going to happen in that time? You know the kind of spirits going to raise up in those days. these men going on turn full evil, right? It say and the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted and the city shall be cast down. There shall be no man left to till the earth and to sow it. The trees shall give fruit, and who shall gather them? The grapes shall ripen, and who shall tread them? For all places shall be desolate of men. Wow. Wow, this picture, when you're reading these things, it's good that you visualize it. You visualize it and see, like, this picture it. You see it in the movies, how the places be in those kind of times, in those days, right? It say, for a city there shall be 10 left, and 2 of the field which shall hide themselves in thick groves and in the cliffs of the rocks. Hey, picture the movies, right? It say, as in the orchard of olives, upon every tree there are left 3 or 4 olives. Or as when a vineyard is gathered, there are left some clusters of them that diligently seek through the vineyard. Even so, in those days there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword. And I saw these men playing those games, man. A man had to get a piece of food in it. And hey, you might be that food, right? So as it say, even so in those days there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword, and the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and the ways and all the paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel there through. The virgin shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The woman shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the wars shall the bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Do you understand how bad those days going to be? Those times coming up, right? It's 72 hours with people trying to get things to eat, trying to prepare for your family and all these things. Men coming into your house. Men in that days, men going to be moving in the gangs and the packs and so forth. No game, man. I say perilous times, a time full of danger. Right? They say, hear now these things and understand them, ye servants of the Lord. Right? So hear now these things and understand them, ye servants of the Lord. It say, behold, the word of the Lord, receive it. Believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. So yeah, hey, just yesterday doing a video upon the farming. Today talking about 70 doors. Make sure they have things 70 doors. And the thing about it, majority of people don't. You see, and that is why hey, we dependent on the Lord. You understand? That is why we give all praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Because it's the Lord that the trust to take you through these things. Right? You see, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. They slack not a moment. So when these things come, they're not going to, they won't hit. It might look famine, pestilence, wars, and many other things. It says, even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the whole world shall mourn. So sorrow shall come upon it on every side. On every side, no matter where it is a turn, because some people believe that they can leave one place and go to another place and be safe. No, it's not going to work like that. No matter where it is a turn to, these things will not happen. If you hear any noise in the background, let it be when you're around people, right? But nonetheless, so it say, even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side, on every single side. That is why we're seeing all these things now. These sorrows hitting the beginning of sorrows, right? Hey, ask yourself this question. Do you have what it takes to survive 3 days? Any time of catastrophe, any time of chaos, the perilous times? Ask yourself that question, right? Because we know it's all dependent on the Lord, but just ask yourself that. If it is an unbeliever, right? Because you know that the unbelievers just be watching the videos, always commenting some shit. Ask yourself, when this shit happen, when that time the Lord talking about here, a man go desire to see another, right? If men be running through your house with the sword, ask yourself, you prepared? Ask yourself if you could even survive what it is these people saying here. Right? So, hey, let me just read some of the comments before I go, right? They say, meanwhile, the illegals live for free in the EU while hardworking people can't pay for heat. They usually warn you before they do something, pay attention, which is right. Right? Which is right. War with Russia, and that is what I was mentioning before. They know with North Korea coming in and so forth. Look at what might take place, right? You can literally sit around and do nothing for 3 days and survive. No food, no water, nothing, unless you're elderly and already in a really bad physical state. Hell, the vast majority of people would be healthier after such event, which is wrong, because majority of people cannot survive for 3 days without food or water. It sounds so, yes, your body could, but these people don't prepare their body for that. They don't fast, they don't do any of these things. So how would they survive that? You see, and that is some of the spirit that these people are going to be like, yeah, I could do it. I could do that. So wait 3 days until it happened to them, and they set a ball. They want to call upon the Lord, and that's when the Lord say he go laugh when they fear coming. He go mock when these things come upon him. Right? So this person tell a silly person, healthier from a dire perspective for all fat folks. But crisis implies far greater dislocation. No banks, ATM, pharmacy, etc. 3 days a city, 90 days provision makes sense. I'm sure they print some money and see this person, they didn't believe, right? Where's the name? They didn't believe. Like plenty of people believe that it's easy. So some people can't because their body in that order, but majority of people, they can't. After that second day, they're going and panic. They're going and panic. Especially with like how this person telling me, but crisis implies far greater, right? No banks, ATM, pharmacy, because why? Everything will be shut down. Matter of fact, if if electricity gone, you don't even know what working, you don't even know what going on in the streets. So majority of people, they're not going and go out in the cities. You understand? Because it will be considered dangerous. Right? But ask yourself. Ask yourself. Could you? Right? Could you? These people ain't prepared for what coming, man. They ain't prepared at all. So with that, we give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKadosh. We say that when some person and a greatness and a reward that teaches us a person in truth, and we say salutations to the argument to the push with on truth and sincerity, day in and day out, and constantly in season and season, we say shalom. You know, most likely I might come back, I might do a video tomorrow on this again, or later on again on this. You know? Hey, so with that, we say shalom.